If she can see it, everybody else should see it. All right, recording. And we're going to start with 3 words. And those 3 words are slope, correlation, and I don't know how to spell correlation. It was 2 L's or 1. I don't know. Somebody check it.
2 O's.
Is it 2 what?
2 O's. Pretty sure. Co-correlation, I'm pretty sure.
That's not 2 R's. That's for sure. Yeah, it's correlation. I believe it's 2 R's. Somebody check it for me.
I could be wrong. I thought it was 2 O's.
I don't know if it's 2 L's. I'm terrible with L's. And causality.
You spelled it right.
Of course I did. Okay. Causality. 3 things that 4.1 and 4.2 talks about. Okay? Slope is a mathematical calculation that determines steepness. Mathematical calculation that determines steepness. And I put steepness in quotation marks because some math teachers have fits when you say steepness. Okay? And that formula is M is equal to the change in y over the change in x, which is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And everybody in here should know that by heart. Okay? Because you've had algebra 1 and 2 somewhere in your life, and you remember that formula. Okay? A positive slope goes left to right, what? Up. A negative slope goes left to right, down. Correlation. Correlation relates to slope. But correlation does not have big numbers. Correlation just goes from -1 to what? To +1. Correlation, you see a pattern. You see a tendency. You see something that you can predict. And this is all on a graph. Causality is simple. Cause and what? Effect. In the movie, The Matrix, the second Matrix movie, remember when they go into the restaurant? Some of y'all have never seen The Matrix because y'all don't watch good movies. But anyway, The Matrix, the 2, he walks into and there's this guy that speaks French, and he's in there and he's talking all philosophical. You know, The Matrix is 80% philosophy, and you got to listen to all this stuff. And he goes, "I drink too much wine, I have to pee." Now, I know that probably offends somebody, but you'll remember it. Okay? Some of you drink too much water, or you drink too much beer. Some of you drink too much wine. You have to pee. That is causality. Causality is when one thing directly impacts what? The other. I drink too much wine, I have to pee. And then he says, cause and effect. Cause and effect is causality. Now, this is very important that you write this down. Correlation does not mean causality. But causality means what? Means correlation. I use this example all the time, and I've probably used it in other classes that you've had if you've had me before. But let's say that I work at Amstar 14, okay? And I work there every week. And a new movie comes out, And I'm going to pick on, let's say, an actor that's not that good, but Nicolas Cage. Okay? And let's say that his movie comes out. We're going to use Con Air. Y'all ever seen Con Air? Of course not. Anyway, let's say that you're working at Amstar and Con Air is a movie with Nicolas Cage. The reason it's good is because there's so many good actors in. The guy that has the funky teeth, he's got a Italian last name. I can't remember, but he's played in a lot of movies. But Sandra Bullock movie. Anybody ever seen? No, of course y'all haven't. 30 days, 31 days, or 30 days where she's in detox. Of course not. If it ain't got a comic book character in it, y'all ain't seen it.
Do you have Netflix? But she's got a new movie on there that's really good.
Who does?
Sandra Bullock.
The Fall from Grace.
What movie is it?
I can't remember the name of it, but it's about her daughter getting killed, and she's like an FBI agent. She comes to the scene, and they didn't.
I'll be walking on it tonight.
What's it called?
Sandra Bullock's my favorite actress. Anyway, I can't remember the name. I'm gonna just look him up. We're gonna have fun today, and if you're gonna bitch about it, bitch about it. I'm gonna look him up. Let's see. Where is that? Okay, let's just pull up Con Air. I'm going to show you two good actors in Con Air. And that's the reason the movie's so good. Con Air.
It's called
movie.
Secret in Their Eyes.
Thank you. Will you text that to me, please? So it will remind me to watch it tonight. Walt will be at DSS overnight, so. Where is the cast?
You can look up.
Yes, it's right here.
Oh. He's got a there he is. Not that guy, but the other guy. I'll get to him. John Malkovich. Y'all ever seen him in movies? Oh God, I love him in movies, especially when he plays a crazy person.
Priority 1
That
message
guy.
coming in
Oh
on
my
the
gosh,
short
I
channel.
love for when he plays a crazy person. And somebody's already complaining. See?
That's me texting you.
The other guy. There he is. This guy. That's the guy with the funky teeth. He plays the killer, the crazy killer. That guy right there.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, he is such a good actor.
He's creepy in his movies. Like,
And he
gets in the
uses
zone.
that, and he makes millions off of that.
Yeah, he gets in the zone in them movies.
Oh my gosh, he is such a good actor. But if it wasn't for him and Malkovich, the movie would suck. But anyway, that's a good movie. Okay. So I don't think anybody else in there I know. Oh, I like that guy. I think that guy, doesn't this guy does the Arby's commercials? I think he does the Arby's commercials. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Where's the meat? Or what did he say? We've got the meat or whatever.
Oh my God,
He does those. Let's have fun. No, we can't have fun. Huh? Because then somebody will call my boss. That's why.
Can we at least watch the trailer?
No. Y'all ain't never seen this movie?
I've seen it.
I ain't kidding y'all. You know what I think? I think I'm going to have a list of good-ass movies, and y'all have to learn them on the next test, because y'all have been deprived, and it's not your fault. It's your parents' fault.
That should be our test. Our exam. That should be our exam.
For real.
25 indicators of when to run and movies that your parents should have shown you. Con Air is a good movie, but the only thing that takes away from Con Air is Nicolas Cage. Anybody in here seen Nicolas Cage act before?
Yes.
He's so dramatic. I mean, he makes Days of Our Lives look normal. I mean, he's just like so dramatic.
That show's like older than my grandma.
I know, and it's so dramatic.
He was funny in Raising Arizona.
I've never seen that one.
Really? It's like
What's it about?
an 80s movie. Basically, him and his wife can't have kids, so they it sounds bad, but it's actually funny.
I've never
They
seen that.
Kidnap like a kid?
I only saw this one because of those two characters. I like those characters, and that's why I saw it.
Okay,
But anyway, I'll shut up. So anyway, you're working at Amstar. Now you remember this because we talked about it. You're working at Amstar, and you notice that Nicolas Cage movie, Con Air, looks like that. And it's going out the roof. Okay? It's going way out there. Well, your English teacher, or not your English teacher, but your teacher at school, your math teacher, says that they want to give you a project, and you need to find a project, like she's doing, that you need to graph the details. And your family has had a history of DUI accidents in your, somebody hurt in a DUI, So you decide that you're going to go to the Department of Transportation and you're going to find 19 or whatever this year is, 2019, not 2020 because we haven't had it yet, 2019 deaths by DUI. And it looks like this. And this movie came out in 2019. So we can conclude that Nicolas Cage movies causes more DUI deaths. No, you can't. Okay? That's where the causality comes in. Put beside causality contextual, common sense. Contextual. These two have nothing to do with each other. You can't say, well, since there's correlation, there has to be causality. No. Okay? You can't say that these two have anything to do with each other. But let's talk about one that does. Let's say that you're doing research and your research has come up with, in the summer of 2019, you found there was a large amount of drownings and there was a large amount of Rocky Mountain spotted fever. And of course somebody's going to ask, what's that? Like I said, y'all's parents suck. Rocky Mountain spotted fever is tick disease. Y'all familiar with it now? No, you're just going to sit there like, I don't know. Sit there like Patrick. Indicator, 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 indicator. Anyway, what do these two have to do with each other? Time of the year. Does this have causality? Does the time of year have to do with deaths or sicknesses of these two things? Yes. So there you have causality. Causality means that you have correlation, but correlation does not necessarily mean that you have causality. Capiche? Now, there's another thing that goes with correlation and causality, and that is called the scatter plot. Scatter plot is when you put dots on a graph. And from that scatter plot, you should be able to see a pattern. There's three patterns. What are they? There's a positive correlation. I'll draw them down here. A positive correlation, a negative correlation, and no correlation. So this is positive, left to right up. Remember, it has a direct relationship with slope. Left to right down is a negative correlation, so that would be like -1. This would be like +1. And then this would be no correlation, because a horizontal line has a slope of what? 0. So therefore, no correlation is a horizontal line. Now the good thing about 4.1 and 4.2 is you're going to do most of it on your calculator. And some of you on the calculator drill team, that's good because you can't think. So let's go ahead and pull up the handy dandy calculator and let's see what the heck you're talking about. So you get your calculators out, and everybody should have one because you should have gone, oh my Lord. Everybody but one person has one. Just drop theirs. And hold on a minute, I have to go through the archaic stuff first. 2050, this may be fixed. There we go. And let's punch in, let's just punch in stat, edit, and I'm going to punch in the following numbers. Y'all can punch them in with me. Let's go with ages. 17, 17, 18, 19, and let's put in some that's not in order. 26, 25, 52, 47, and 36. Okay? So I'm going to go through them again because there's always one person. What was that one? So 17. 17. Somebody write them, please. 17, 17, 18, 19, 26, 25, 52, 47, 36. That's it. Now, I'm going to go to stat plot. So go to second, stat plot. I'm going to hit enter for the first one. I'm going to hit on, hit enter, and I'm going to go down, and there is your stat plot. Everybody with me?
No.
Okay. Well, I also got to put in, oh, wait a minute, hold on. I got to put in an X and a Y. I forgot about that. So let me go back and put in an X and a Y. Sorry. Stat. Let me just do this. Edit. I'm going to do this. Hit 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay, and now go to the next column and type in, let's go backwards. Let's see, what was the highest number I just said?
18.
18. So let's go 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. That's it. Okay, now we got 2 sets. Now, I'm going to go to stat, second, y is equal. Click and enter on the first one. Click on, or enter on the on position. And now, hit graph, because it's going to automatically default to L1 and L2. Hit graph, and it's not going to be there. So hit zoom, and then go to stat. I think stat is number 9. Enter. And there is your, now everybody can see that there is a negative what? Correlation. Now, what if I want to find some information about this? Then go to stat, calculate. Let's find the line of regression. Line regression. See that? Hit enter and hit calculate. There is your slope. A is your slope. Write this down. Write this down right here. A is your slope. And B is your Y what? Intercept. So the regression line, the equation for your regression line, that is a test question. The equation for your regression line is Y is equal to negative 0.5x plus 20. Now there's something else not there, so we need to go back and turn on our diagnostic. So hit second, 0. Of course, I told y'all to turn this on a long time ago. Since this is archaic, I have to do it every single class because every time I get out of the calculator, it goes to the default. So, like I said, 2015, we want to get it taken care of. So I'm looking for diagnostic on, hit enter, hit enter. Now go back and hit stat, calculate, first variable are linear, and calculate. Now, what does that R mean? That is called the correlation coefficient. Write that down. The correlation coefficient. The correlation coefficient is from -1 to +1. -1 being a very strong negative correlation. +1 is a very strong what? Positive correlation, Hubert. That's right, class. So anytime you're asked for the coefficient, for the correlation coefficient, that is R. So you want to know A, B, and R. Now you need to appreciate how to get R with your calculator because you do not want to do it by hand. It is very, very tedious. Even with the spreadsheet, it's tedious. So I would highly suggest you either use the StatCrunch to get R or you use the calculator to get R. Capiche? Unless you just want to change and whips. If you like that, then yeah. Do it by hand, by all means. All right, so that's that. So let's look at, and I'm just going to go, and we're going to look at some of your, some of the homework problems, and you'll see in 4.1 what I'm talking about. These problems are not difficult. And this should be an easy part of your homework, unless some of y'all mess it up. So let's see. 4.1, let's see, let's go to homework. 4.1. That's some more words. Words. Okay, that's one. Of course, you got no correlation here. And then you got what here? Positive correlation. That's not the question I'm looking for, though. You get there. Okay, here's one. Now, I don't know. They don't give you the numbers. This is just a pictograph. You will have 2 or 3 on the test like this. I'm going to make sure you know what a positive correlation looks like, a negative correlation, and no correlation. So those 3 will be on there. So make sure you know that this is a what? A positive correlation. You just take your graph and you take your line and you just try to put it where it's the best what? Well, I'm not going to change it. The best fit. And you see that that green line is going in a positive what? Positive left to right direction. There's the best fit right about there. Actually, that's driving me crazy, so just hold on. Let me do it again. There. Maybe right in there. That's called the line of best fit. It's also called the line of regression. Line of best fit, line of regression. There is a pattern. How do you know it's left to right? Well, which way do we read? Left to right. So you put your little car right here. And what's that car doing?
Going up.
It's going uphill. Uphill's positive. If it was going downhill, then it'd be negative. You'd be surprised on how many people cannot read a line. I'm serious. Because they've been confused or they haven't been told how to just put your little car right there. Unless you're from Middle East, Masalama, unless you're from Middle East, we read from left to right. So you put your car on the left-hand side, and either that car is going up, or it's going down, or it's what? 0. and you should be able to read and do, Sometimes they ask you, does this have a direct relation to the slope? Yes, the slope is positive also. And they may ask you to do the slope. And that's why I want to look through some of the homework problems to see. There's a test question right there. Now read the question. I want you to write this one down. Go ahead and write it down. Go ahead and write that question down because this is a test question. That first one was a test question too. It said, you don't have to write every word. Match the correlation coefficient to the scatter plot. Just write that down. And then write A is negative 0.81, B is negative 0.049, and R, or the next one, R, is equal to negative 1. All right? Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite mine because that negative 0.049, that will confuse you. I'm going to write A, negative 0.81. You don't need all those zeros. B is negative 0.05, and C is negative 1. Now, first of all three are negative, correct? All three are negative, so you can't deduce that because all three are negative. Which one has the strongest line going down, left to right down? The first one. So this one is our strongest correlation, strongest negative correlation. Which one is closest to negative 1? Oh, sorry. C is closest to negative 1. Which one has the weakest correlation? This one has the weakest correlation because it's almost horizontal. So that one goes there. So therefore, by deduction, 0.81 goes there. I'm not testing you on 4.1 and 4.2 on math, except for slope, calculating the slope and maybe the equation of a line. I'm testing you predominantly in 4.1 and 4.2 on if you know the difference between correlation, causality, and slope. So there's going to be a lot of graphs like this from 4.1 and 4.2 asking you, do you know what you're looking at? Fair enough? Some of y'all still mess it up. But anyway, we'll keep going. Another test question. Match the linear correlation coefficient to the scatter diagram.
With a current temperature of 60 degrees Fahrenheit, today's high is 61 degrees Fahrenheit,
I'm
and
listening.
the low is 57 degrees Fahrenheit. Looks like it'll be a cloudy day. And now, here are today's top headlines provided by Google.
Here are the top. Bernie Sanders is the greatest thing in the world, and Trump is the racist. There's the news for today. All right. So which one is it? Let's check. Sorry, check. I didn't answer this one, hadn't I? Okay, but look at it. 0.025. Change that to 0.03 because your brain sees that 0.025 and it goes boo. But if you put 0.03, boom, that's 3 cents. 3 cents in relation to a negative dollar and a positive dollar. What is it? Weak or strong?
Weak.
It's weak. So you know it's not these three because all three of these are very what? Strong. This is a negative. So automatically this one is out. Why? Because it's positive. So you can at least you can at least get rid of a couple. Okay? Let's do a couple more before y'all start to have convulsions, Miss Alexander. All right. I'm going to move to the next one. Oh, no, we can do that one. Here's where you can use the data set. There's the little, I'm all doing StatCrunch. Has this been showing up with y'all?
Yes.
It has. It showed up with me, started with me yesterday. Okay, I'm gonna hit, it's the Russians, they've infiltrated. They've infiltrated My Labs Plus, and they're gonna make us all vote for who they want us to vote for. All right, there we go. Highlight it. And this is a trick I learned in the war. Hit insert. Let's see, where's insert? There it is. Dang, oh, look at there. There's your scatter plot right there. And you feel good about yourself. I want to show you another trick I learned in the war. If you click on the point and you right click, it's not clicking. There, right click and go to add trend line. Look at there. And then if you go down here, you can hit display equation and display R squared. Isn't that something? So you can actually, I'm about ready to scream. You can actually, and then I'll try to make it bigger and then it won't do it. Watch. Yeah, I hit 14 and it goes up to 14 and then it stops. You see that? Damn Russians. Anyway, now somebody take, in your calculator, take the square root of 0.9191. That means I want y'all to interact with me. That's not rhetorical. What?
0.9586.
That is R. Write that down. Right up under R squared is 0.9191. Excel does not give you the correlation coefficient. You have to take the square root of R squared. Write that down because I don't want you putting 0.9191 on the test because you're going to get it wrong. So, is there a strong correlation here?
Yeah.
Yes. And you could actually figure the slope here. Really? All right. Before Miss Alexander faints, let's go ahead and call it a day. Y'all have a good day. I need to call the roll today.